Smallrig cage. Yes, the S1H camera cage from Smallrig. It is finally out and it is right here on my S1H. So today we're gonna break down this camera rig setup so you can see the cage, all the things I like about it, why I think it's good to have a cage on your camera so it protects it. We're also gonna take a look at all the other features from Smallrig that is on this cage built right here. But first, let's take a look at a little sequence that I shot with this exact setup so you can see how it is working in real life. So let's see the sequence. Here we go. Alright, so if you're in the market for a cage for your S1H, the Smallrig cage might be the one you're gonna look at. I'm very satisfied with this cage because it has a lot of good features and there's a lot of mounting points on this cage. So let's take a look at some of the things that I really like about this cage and all the other parts that I got on here from Smallrig. Alright, so here it is, the Smallrig cage. Bare metal, all of it, super dope. I've taken it off the S1H. So let's take a look at some of the cool features it got. So in the bottom there's a 1/4 screw and they have added its own little screwdriver, pretty cool. And it just sits on there with a cover of magnets. That's a pretty cool thing. But it's not enough. You need a small Allen key for the little tiny screw that goes through the ring of the camera and into the frame. So you'll need an Allen key for that. Would have been nice if they had added an Allen key at the end of this one, so you had all the tools you needed on site. In the front here there's two small holes for an adapter to go on there. On the side here they have added a NATO rail so you can put a handle on if you are onto handles. I don't use that anymore. There's a lot of holes all the way around. There are 1/4, 3/8, all the way down here and all the way down here the side. It's curved for a better grip. In the top I have added a NATO rail, lots of space for that. Then there's some dedicated hole for some of the swivel mounts right here. A lot of holes on the bottom to mount anything you want. They have added these big hooks here for a camera strap or for a side strap that you could go on here and down to the bottom right here. So you have a strap around your hand. There's one thing that I would have liked to have changed a little bit, and that's the cold shoe up here. I've liked to have that curved down just a little bit, just angle it down so that the microphone would have been tipped out a bit to the side, because then it can just kind of go past the monitor. If you have a monitor sitting right up here, when it's flat here on the top, it often comes in the way for the monitor. But it's a minor thing. It's not a deal breaker, but it would have been nice if they have added that to the cage. But elsewise, I really like the Smallrig cage for the S1H. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the other things that I have on here and why I think they're important for my type of shooting and why they might be useful for you. I have a top handle. It's also a Smallrig top handle with the NATO rail clamp, so it just clamps on there. And on there I have a swivel mount. It's a 360 swivel mount, so it goes all ways, where I can mount the monitor. And the reason why I have it on the handle and not mounted onto the cage is that then I can easily take this off and put it on my GH5 if I'm shooting on that instead, and throw this one in the bag so it won't be sticking out, and and be in the way for anything when the camera is packed down in the backpack. So that's why I have it like this. So that's the top handle here with the rubber grip, very nice and sturdy grip. So in the bottom I mount a cheese plate so that it will extend a bit higher when I use my glide cam, because then it's easier for me to turn the knot in the top to adjust the base plate forward and backward. That's why I have the cheese plate, and with the cheese plate I also have two mounting points for the base plate, so it won't be sliding over time. That I really like. Then I have this small cord right here, and this is actually not for the cage. This is more specifically for the S1H. And the reason I have this one is because it bends 90 degrees right away, and then I can easily hold the camera without having the HDMI cord from the monitor sticking out a lot more and being in the way when I'm using the camera. So I really like this small converter cable, and it's super cheap. I'll link it down below so you can find it on Amazon. Let's assemble this again so you can see how it looks with the camera in the cage. Alright, let's take the S1H, put it into the cage. There we go. This can sometimes be a bit tricky to do, but hopefully it'll go. Then we'll use the small screwdriver that comes with the cage, and I'm not tightening it 100% because I'm going to add this small tiny screw, and it's nice that I can move the cage a bit around to make this one fit. And it goes through the hole right here and into the frame right there. Find the hole. Yeah, there it is. So that is tightened right there. Yes, nice and tight. Then we can tighten the bottom screw so it sits firmly in there. And we'll use the screwdriver that comes with it. You can also use a normal screwdriver if you have that on place. Just see if it's tight enough. It actually is. So this one is actually enough. So this is how it looks in the cage. Super nice and sturdy, and that's why I really like that I have added this small screw up here, because it makes it so much more secure than not having it, because it is actually a big and heavy camera. Then we have the cheese plate that goes down to the bottom right here, and I like to put it flush to the edge of my frame. Tighten those. Boom. Then we got the cheese plate in the bottom. The great thing about the cheese plate is that it gives me a lot of mounting points, so I can move this to the side or anything, so it won't be in the way for the door to open or anything like that. The base plate for the glide cam, and it's actually just a Manfrotto base plate that they use. That one. So the two screws are in place, and I really like to have two screws on here because it makes it just that more sturdy and won't be turning a bit when I'm on the go and using the glide cam. So now we got a nice base plate for it to sit on. Then we have the top handle, just slides onto there. Boof, we have a monitor. Goes onto there. We have the side HDMI cord coming out there. We can link it up to this one. Boof. All we need now is the lens. Here's the lens. Mount the lens on there. And my Smallrig cage for the S1H setup is done. If you're interested in any of these parts from Smallrig, I will link everything in the description down below, so you can go find it on Amazon. And of course, if you're interested in more of my content, I will link some of my Weebill S series down here. If you're interested in gimbals, you can go back and see that. And if you're new here, always remember to subscribe by hitting the little little subscribe button and the bell to get notified when I upload a new video. And I upload every Sunday. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys back here next time. Thank you.
'Cause we both deserve it all.